On the night of November 7, 2017, hunters were in an area of woodlands near a swamp in Michigan when they heard a woman crying for help. Vast and difficult to navigate, the swamp has a notorious reputation. According to local lore, it is the last resting place of several unfortunate hunters who never found their way out. The area's name is Dead Stream Swamp, but some refer to it as Dead Man's Swamp. Spanning 47 square miles, it is one of the largest cedar swamps in the United States. The peat bog is about 5 feet deep on average and descends 16 feet in some parts. It is highly likely that the hunters heard the screams of a woman who'd ventured into the area that night with a male friend. The pair, who were subsequently the subject of an intensive search operation, were not located until 5 months later. They were eventually found dead in the swamp, which raised a number of troubling questions. The woman was Alexandria Faust, a 19-year-old mother from Cadillac, Central Michigan. On a Facebook memorial page called Love Beyond Words, a page for Alex, a friend called Kelly Golder described Alex as a sweet and caring girl. Indeed, the photos shared by the group suggest that Faust was very attached to her children. She left behind 2 babies, twin girls. Faust's traveling companion that night was 34-year-old Jeff Hurley from Prudenville, an unincorporated community in northern Michigan. Employed in residential construction as a carpenter, Hurley was raised and schooled near Chicago. "We lost a good friend," his brother Joel told 9 and 10 News after learning about the deaths. "He was a friend to a lot of people." On November 7, 2017, Housed and Hurley drove out to Dead Stream Swamp. The last known sighting of them was in Norwich Township, a settlement of around 600 people near Higgins Lake. According to Facebook comments cited in the Daily Mail newspaper, Hurley did not arrive at work later that evening, which aroused concerns. Dead Stream Swamp tends to be regarded with unease by locals. On the Michigan Sportsman, an online forum for hunters, several commenters discuss the potential for disorientation and encounters with aggressive wildlife inside the swamp, especially bears. "I have heard some scary sounds in that place, would not want to get lost in there," wrote a user called in a book of short stories and poetry entitled From This Mountaintop. Dan Holland described Dead Stream Swamp as a place of deep foreboding. Dead Man's Swamp is a particularly inhospitable tract of real estate, he wrote. Singularly resistant to the seemingly inexorable inroads of man, and, in fact, a number of people attempting to learn its dark secrets lost their lives in that quest. Given the swamp's reputation, it is perhaps understandable that the hunters who heard the screaming on November 7 did not attempt to track the source. Instead, they notified the police, and upon searching the area, officers located Hurley's vehicle, its wheels stuck in the mire. The car was lodged in the mud by a gas pipeline. Several important personal items were recovered from it, including driver's licenses, Hurley's wallet and Faust's purse. Several other items were found dispersed nearby, including Hurley's shoes and sweatpants. But Hurley and Faust themselves were nowhere to be seen. With the pair now classified as missing persons, coordinated search efforts were launched by the Missaukee County Sheriff's Department and Michigan State Police. Dog units, a helicopter and ground teams combed the area. The couple's families and communities helped out, too. But after just 4 days, the search had to be called off. On November 9, extreme cold weather swept through the area and unleashed several inches of snowfall. Consequently, the search effort had to be halted the next day. 4 days later, though, conditions had improved sufficiently for the search to resume. However, with the commencement of the firearm season on November 17, that operation was suspended, too. With the onset of winter, physical access to the swamp was limited further by ice and snow. But the couple's friends and families were not about to give up. As a result, they established various Facebook support groups such as Bring Jeff and Alex Home. Between them, the groups had more than 6,000 members. Then, In spring 2018, warm weather caused the snow and ice to thaw, enabling investigators to access previously impassable areas. On March 26, 2018, cadaver dogs found two bodies in Dead Stream Swamp. They were subsequently identified as Faust and Hurley. The pair had been missing for 5 months, however, pending the results of autopsies and toxicology tests, the cause of their deaths is currently unknown. Police are continuing to investigate the fatalities, but given the confusing geography of the area, one theory is that they simply got lost in the dark and died of hypothermia. There remain plenty of unanswered questions, however. Why were Hurley's shoes and sweatpants found in different locations, and why did the couple stray so far from the vehicle? Why didn't they follow the pipeline to the nearest settlement? And above all, what were they doing in the swamp in the first place? Still, at least the families now have some degree of closure. The families have questions of why and what happened, and we wish we had those answers, Sergeant Scott Bates of Michigan State Police told 9 and 10 News. Sometimes we don't and have to put all those pieces together, so they are looking for answers. But for the family, it brings closure to them. In addition, some wonder if Michigan State Police could have done more. Why did it take the MSP 7 hours to show up? Wrote Jerry Hooker, an administrator of the Facebook page Loved Beyond Words, a page for Alex. My question is and always has been, could there have been a different result if the call for help had been answered sooner? We will never know. Talking to 9 and 10 News, Hurley's brother Joel described his family's ordeal as tough. "We stuck together," he said. "Luckily, we had the whole family here together, my mother, my sister. And I've got my daughter and my niece here. It really helped."
But most of all, Joel wonders what might have been. The what-ifs, the chances that we could have had if he would have stuck around, Joel said. "We're going to start a business, or we are going to do those family things together and we just never got to do that. That's the one thing I'm going to miss." Hopefully, the families of Hurley and Faust will have more answers